What's good, brothers? This is Enemy Stand User, and welcome to a different type of video talking about Naoya and my thoughts on what's coming up with this new vengeful spirit, Naoya versus Maki and Kamo. Very exciting stuff. The Koen games have been amazing so far. The brutality, the epic battles, the insane conclusion. It's really just an amazing arc, and it's only like in its opener phase. I feel like Hikari and Kashimo's battle had a very nice conclusion in how everything went and the transition into this POV that we're in now with Maki and Kamo, because now we kind of have a standard. We've seen the capabilities of extremely strong individuals and the fierce battle sorcerers have, so we kind of get hyped for the standards the games are setting. It's awesome. Gege is really good at building things up, and seeing how Maki has made herself coming back into the story. She's being called a monster by Momo. She's being hyped up. It was thrilling. In fact, both Maki and Kamo have new sort of power-ups and were changed in different ways by their respective clans in one way or another. Maki usurped and dethroned the Zenin, and Kamo himself was dethroned and replaced by Kenjaku as head of the Kamo clan and the conservatives. It's crazy. And now with those thoughts in mind, we are now entering a new phase of the games for the next couple of weeks. Us readers will see the change in the three characters. Maki Zenin, hopefully Kamo no Toshi, and of course, we love to hate him, Naoya Zenin. And first I want to go over and cover Naoya because his change and reemergence into the story is the most obvious. With Naoya recently in his debut with chapter 191 and 192, he has purely become this creature of rage, chaos, and despair. His cursed rambling when speaking to Maki really lets you know that he wants Maki to die brutally. He literally came back to settle his score and became this creature that sorcerers should destroy. Even before Naoya died, Naoya was always this pompous prick. Naoya was a straight up jerk. However, he held respect for the likes of Gojo and Toji. He knew their power. There was almost this obsession with him because he wanted to stand with them, and he saw what the rest of his family didn't. The sin of the insignificant is ignorance of strength. Naoya wants to stand out and be remembered. Yet Maki is the one who had power like that of Toji, and Maki humiliated him in battle. There's just like this seething hatred, negativity, and jealousy in Naoya's corrupted way of thinking. Gege hints at this. Even when you think about Naoya's life and his setbacks, he was no longer able to become clan head with that title. It went to Megumi. His dad Naobito made a deal with Toji to make Megumi head in these circumstances, not even to pick his own blood-related son, and that pissed Naoya off to no end. Even when he went to Tokyo to address this ruling and kill his cousin Megumi, he lost to Chozo and had to be healed by Yuta, which was a huge blow to his pride. Then his whole family was slain by Maki, and when he confronted her in battle, he was clashing all his false ideals on her. She was not Toji. He wanted to believe that lie he told himself, and Maki literally overcame his technique and punched the hell out of him with her raw power, ending their fight. At the end of his life, he literally had nothing, just nothing but hate and resentment welling up inside of him. And just to top it all off, he was killed via being stabbed in the back by a woman of all people, Maki's mother, eating his own words and dying in the most pathetic way. That was truly the last straw. Because of the conditions of his death, with no cursed energy being related and his own negativity cursing his very situation, Naoya became reborn as a vengeful, cursed spirit after death. I see some fans wonder why Naoya is back and really what his purpose will be for the story, what it adds, since Naoya's character already died and his character is sort of finished. But in JJK, this is a world where we curse, become cursed, and die. Naoya is just one example of how this process works and how regret and negativity can change a person, change a sorcerer. Naoya has limits in his human strength, and his attitude as a sorcerer never really helped in his fights. He was extremely prideful and arrogant to a fault, but as a cursed spirit, that is a different story. Gege really set up his character to be this way. He was a powerful sorcerer as a human, but there were setbacks, there were limits. He never really reached heights like his idol Toji, and he utterly cursed that Maki is the one who has crossed that side, so to speak. And now in this new cursed form, so ugly, so abysmal, so horrid, Naoya has nothing to lose. He is no longer human, and he is not bound by any human limitations. He has entered cursehood, so to speak. I believe this new Naoya is going to be brutally fast. We have seen how deadly cursed spirit techniques are, like Calamities and the Disaster series. They all kill people. It's like they're specifically designed for mass casualty. So if Naoya has crossed this line, he likely entered a whole new world of dangerous as far as his abilities go. I'm talking run through you, pierce, shatter bone and blood, rupture organs fast. He could really be deadly now. The vibe Gege is setting up with Naoya's transformation is incredibly eerie, and because he has become something beyond this human potential and came back to life like a wraith to destroy Maki and anyone else in his way. A big thought is, now that he is a curse, there's a possibility his projection sorcery has some sort of buff in a way, like having more frames per second. Instead of 24, maybe it's 48 or 60 or even 120, because then you step into the territory of being so absurdly fast that you can't even be seen. The human eye can only see around 60 FPS or so it's virtually impossible to keep up with something like that. And Naoya could really break boundaries in his new vengeful cursed form. And perhaps Maki could show off her superhuman body in some way with that. This also would be a nice opportunity to show other abilities like maximum technique or even a domain expansion if Gege was to allow something like that. Every colony had a domain battle, and I'll talk about how Kamo might even be able to help with that later on in the vid. Either way, new abilities, domain or not, his technique should be extremely dangerous. I remember from chapter 151, Naoya builds up his strength by stacking weight and speed, and he literally wanted to punch through Maki's body with so much raw momentum. So just imagine Naoya in an inhuman vessel that is specifically designed for absolute speed. That's just brutal. This may not even be Naoya's complete form, because Kamo managed to interrupt his cursed gestation period as a cursed womb. So this stage could only be like an insect pupa, and he may have another state of being higher than this, possibly even faster. A lot of fans theorize it's something like a butterfly form in some way, but that's almost too obvious if you ask me. It'd be cool though with Gege's art style and things like that. But it's incredible how quick Naoya is changing in his new dark form. It's already so hardcore, it honestly gives me chills. Naoya feels like he's going to be obnoxiously strong. But now I want to actually discuss Maki and Kamo and how they would react in this fight. With Maki, I really don't necessarily have a whole lot to say to save a little bit of time. Of course, I expect Maki to come out on top in this battle and win, but if Naoya is as crazy as I think he is, I think it'd really be cool to see Maki go all out in this fight against this spirit. This is going to be Maki's time to shine against this absurd curse such as Naoya, and hopefully will turn some heads and change her perspective with some fans and how she's viewed compared to her peers and other colonies. Hopefully for Kamo too. But Maki could have some amazing moments with her new body and how Gege uses the environment and choreography. This could really be one of the best battles to date if it's as hype as I'm making it out to be. Maki is like the Dark Revenger as a character, a very non-standard fighter as far as her strength goes. So this grudge match is going to be amazing. It should be amazing. She gives off the same violent energy, violent vibes as Toji, and we know how insane Toji is and how the Toji train goes. When it starts, it can't stop, and Maki is like her own unit. She is soaring as a favorite and as a fighter for me, and it's kind of hard to dictate like what zero cursed energy users limits are and what their ceiling is, how far they can go, how far they can be pushed. So hopefully Naoya can serve to make Maki look kind of better, look good, and give us some more understanding on vengeful spirits as well as heavenly restricted people too. Gege might give us a lot of context in this battle. And on the other hand, we have our boy Kamo Noritoshi, and Kamo is such a cool character. He's been getting some spotlight, but we really have not been seeing his best angles. If there was ever an obvious weak link, I think it'd be Kamo. It's not really all his fault because he's vastly overshadowed by much of the cast, and Gege has been kind of putting him in the back burner. And when you think about big shots like Maki, Yuta, Hakari, especially someone like Chozo, I don't think many people would group them together with Kamo or think Kamo all that often. If I'm being a buck with y'all, Kamo seems like what I like to call the peanut gallery in my take, based off of portrayal, which is basically someone who is kind of insignificant, who kind of doesn't really get involved, yet he acts as a commentator in a fight. Basically someone who's on the sidelines, who hypes up the battle, acting as the viewer / reader's eyes and ears from their POV. Kamo definitely has been showing those types of traits, if you've noticed, with his comments about Naoya, his power, his speed, and his lack of insight in this situation. It's like Kamo is so close, but he's just not there yet. You know what I'm saying? Kamo, he has real reasons to grow. 2 of his classmates died, Toto's injured, Miwa and Momo are doing their best, and Kamo was kicked out of his house, his family's position by Kenjaku, foiled his plan, crushed his hope, took his house, his money, his assets. Kamo is going through something right now, and I believe Kamo has gotten stronger. Kamo's personality is a bit more humble. He stopped believing in the Kamo clan's lies and is coming into his own as a modern sorcerer, throwing away tradition. He's got new drip, new bow, he's got a new cut, he's got the Haguruma / adult Gohan fade. Kamo's like a brand new person who is willing to grow. Gege even made him look like he became bulkier in some way with his build, and his attacks seem to hit a whole lot harder, even his conversions. He's got some decent potential, but yet again, Gege just wants to dunk on this guy, and my man got shut down by Naoya instantly. And Naoya even called him trash, plus told him to read the room. The sheer disrespect is crazy. Low-key, it is kind of funny. Naoya punched the taste out of Kamo, but I'm going to be very surprised to see him conscious and up as fast as next chapter. That's honestly a feat on its own, and Naoya's dialogue does not help at all. It's just like he squashed a fly. If Kamo was to come back soon, he'd need a hell of a showcase to impress upon me and to impress us. I mean, he needs to like actually keep up and help Maki deal with this literal demon. It could be through more powerful techniques that we've seen from Chozo and Kamo alike, or new stuff like barrier techniques with blood manipulation. A domain expansion would be amazing. Even if it's crappy or incomplete, it's still helpful. Imagine Naoya popped the domain and Kamo broke through it and started helping Maki. That'd be really amazing. That'd be very peak. Right now, I'm sort of doubting Kamo's ability, but I think Gege will have to give him something, literally anything, to make him look better, because getting ragdolled before a fight even starts, that ain't it, Chief. Mission failed. We'll get him next time. Mission failed. But seriously, overall, this battle will be amazing, and Gege could take this a lot of ways. If this is going to be something like a 6 to 8 chapter fight, Naoya is going to have to be a real threat and take this fight to the next level. So I don't doubt Maki at all, but I really hope Kamo doesn't get left behind, because it's looking especially dangerous right now, and Kamo is not really looking favorable, but Gege's been known to subvert our expectations and throw in some really wild stuff in the fights. This is just a video going over how I felt about these characters and their change, especially with Naoya now during this time in JJK. I'll make these videos from time to time when we get big reveals and big moments. It's exciting. I'm eager to see what Gege Akutami is going to cook up next. I'm loving this arc right now. This has been Enemy Stand User, and I'll see y'all brothers in the next one. Bye-bye.